What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lamonts G CKs show, the number 3 podcast. Oh, this lighting is kind of dim. Let me see if I can do something real quick. Okay, there we go. Welcome to the Lamonts G CKs show. I'm your host, Harvey Lamont Ritchie. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Had an incredible off day. Got some things done. Got some communications that I haven't had in a while situated. Oh, goodness. I feel great. Listen, I don't do any sponsors on the show unless it's Lamont's Gyms and Customize, my company, or Mystic Designs, which is my daughter's company. But I will have to say this, y'all. For the last 4 or 5 months, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I have been drinking this coffee called Dole's. I think that's the name of it. It leaves me feeling like $1,000,000. And to my knowledge, they got some stuff. It's like a mushroom coffee, but it's mainly minerals that our body don't normally get. And oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing. Anyway, on my last podcast, I was telling you that it was the news was just dull and really not too much has changed. But I did see this morning where um, they've got some new leads on the missing lady in Arizona. And I'm gonna tell you something. Technology is incredible. I was listening to a former FBI, former NYPD guy speak, and I'm gonna be honest with you. People think I'm crazy. I watch Leave It to Beaver and Perry Mason and Bonanza, that type of stuff. Old school, real TV. But I know Perry Mason. Perry Mason was fictional, but his character, Raymond Burr, he played that character as an attorney with a photographic memory and a long-term memory. And as I'm listening to this guy talk this morning about the cameras, the strategic way the cameras were set up in this area, and I'm pretty sure they're set up like that all across the country. But he was talking about the way the cameras were set up and cell towers, and in my mind, I'm like, Perry Mason fictionally did this back in his time, back in his day, and technology is awesome. In some ways, it's harmful. In some ways, it's great. But on this particular subject, they got technology now. Perry Mason, I don't know if he would have this in his brain or not, but all you can see is this guy, this perpetrator with a ski mask on, potential perpetrator. Let me say that, with a ski mask on, and all you see was the two cut out of the eyes. They got technology where they have read the eyes. They actually stopped an individual, uh, got his cell phone, questioned him on his whereabouts. Don't think it was the guy, but they damn near pinpointed the accuracy because it looks just like him. Well, as far as the eyes, the technology, was there, but the individual they're looking for, I don't think he's in the United States. I think he's in Mexico, but if he's anywhere around Tucson, hell, he's crazy. But I would, just talking about the technology and the cell phone towers hidden and the cameras, the camera that this lady had around her, the security system she had around her house, pretty much is what I got. I don't have a ring system. I have security cameras where it's set on motion. They'll come on when it's motion, or when I activate it myself and watch it live. But the memory, which in my security system have like a little card you put in, to store the memory. I can't remember if I put one in there or not. But there is a database that if something was to happen, they could probably have to get a warrant, but they can go to this database and put up all the memory. And that's pretty much how mine is. Now, in her case, it's terrible because it took 10 days for FBI to get that search warrant and to get this memory. And, when you talk about a kidnapping, every freaking second counts. And, hopefully they'll get this lady back, man. I was just intrigued about the technology and talking about the forensics this morning. I'm a junkie. I'm a nut when it comes to that type of stuff. I spent all them years in law enforcement and investigations, and it's like Clue, putting a puzzle together. So that was pretty much my interest in the whole thing. So yeah, and I was not aware of the closing of the El Paso airport. I was not abreast of that. The government, the aviation department has come out that somehow only commercial flights can go over a certain height, flying over or around and with a 10-mile radius of the airport. Somehow being so close to the border, these drug lords has been sending drones over, and it was a security threat not only to the airport but to airplanes, both commercial and private. And a lot of people were upset about it, but y'all don't understand. With the drone technology, I mean, just the simple drone technology in the hands of these drug lords and evil people, is dangerous. I'm surprised it hasn't been in more airports. And I know this is close to the border, and they can get away with. Well, not get away with. They can take chances like that down there. Going back about 2 years, a year and a half, maybe 2 years, you had that situation in New Jersey where sightings of drones were everywhere, and people said it was UFOs and drones and all kinds of stuff. It turned out to be test drones done by the government. But things like that are scary. I'm not a flyer. I don't fly nowhere. If God intended me to get from here to there on a plane, He would have gave me wings. Let me say that right. If He intended for me to fly from here to there, He would have gave me wings. I'm just not one to get on a plane. I've been on planes throughout my military life and all that good stuff, and I don't have my fill of it. Same with ships. I don't have my fill of ships. But anyway, yeah, that's those are the two main stories in the news as of the recording of this podcast. Um, we live in a dangerous world, y'all, and we got to keep abreast and keep our wits. That's just the world we live in. Uh, I possibly will have a guest pretty soon. He called me yesterday. I didn't answer because I didn't have my phone with me. I'm gonna try to get this guy on. He's one of my former partners in law enforcement. Spent a lot of years together. Um, just have him on as a guest and tell some old law enforcement stories. He's a liar, so I'm gonna try my best to get him to tell truth and a whole bunch of lies. But and I mean that jokingly. But he do stress the truth a lot. And speaking of that, as a kid, I was a pathological liar. Pathological liar. You know, I would tell my mom lies about what happened in school. You know, why I didn't do this and why I didn't do that. One of the earliest lies I remember, and at one point I had a wonderful, excellent memory. It's kind of fading away as I get older, but I remember I was probably about 3, 4 years old, and I was taking a bath, and I urinated in the bathtub after I got out. And I told my mom, I ran in there, Mama, somebody peed in the bathtub. She said, well, who did it? I don't know. Somebody done peed in the bathtub. Well, you were the only one in there. Mama, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I was fighting mad. I didn't do it. And I think back now, Lamont, why you just lie? Just lie for no damn reason. Just lie. And the reason I'm talking about this, I was mentioning the officer who I hope to have on as a guest pretty soon, about him stretching the truth a lot. I got to thinking, in my entire life, being a pathological liar as when I was a kid, and trying my best to get out of that. When it comes to politics, you have a certain party that they just lie and lie for no reason. I mean, for no reason. And if you want to lie to your girlfriend, that's one thing. Lie to your wife, that's one thing. But when you allow to the people who put you in political office to try to make your party look good, to try to make yourself look good, but you're just lying, that's evil, in my opinion. That's evil. And uh, I don't get it, man. And I'm gonna call out some names just to give this conversation a little bit of clarity. All of them lie. And when I say all of them, when it comes to the Democratic Party, all of them lie. But you got this idiot called Chuck Schumer and this woman, Jasmine Ghetto Crockett. And some individual who I don't know, he was a guest on CNN, a panel they had. And he was like, President Trump was a part of a sex ring, a sex trafficking ring. Jasmine Crockett pretty much said the same thing, but not so bluntly. She kind of mixed up her words and put it like that. Well, ABC, I think, it had to be ABC, came out and they have totally exonerated President Trump of ever having anything unnatural, unhealthy dealings with Jeffrey Epstein. All the evidence points towards the exoneration of our president. Now, anybody with a brain knows that President Trump, whether he was back hanging with the rappers or whoever, with him it's always been about the money. He's a businessman. And when Jeffrey Epstein was a creep, a pedophile, and when he found that out, he got this guy out of Mar-a-Lago. He got this guy out of his life. But you still got creeps like this dude that was on that panel, Jasmine Crockett, spewing lies. And they have to be held accountable. They have to be. Now, when it comes to Chuck Schumer, his lies, and he blatantly said this in an interview, that the SAVE Act, having accountability for voting rights, having your ID, et cetera, is Jim Crow 2.0. Really? Really? These people are disgusting. They're liars, psychopaths, anti-Christian bigots, thug, hoes, and rappers. In the words of the great Vince Everett Ellison, thugs, hoes, and rappers. But moreover, they're just evil people. But as far as my lying, I lied to girls, in my teenage years. I lied to women in my early 20s, lied to my first wife, a whole lot. I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is all for 3 years. The majority of the lies I told was not to hurt people's feelings. And I'm being dead honest with you on that. Now, I told a white lie here, white lie there, stupid lie here, stupid lie there. But the overwhelming majority is to not hurt people's feelings. I remember I met this chick, I think I was in Biloxi, Mississippi. And, she was heavy set, black as charcoal, She wasn't really attractive, but she had a beautiful heart. She had a beautiful mind. And I told her, so you have a beautiful heart and a beautiful mind. And she said, well, what about my physical appearance? I was like, you are who God made you. Be the best you can be. So I'm not beautiful? Yeah, you're beautiful. She wasn't. She had a beautiful spirit, but she was dog ugly. I didn't want to hurt her feelings. So I told her she was beautiful inside and out. Those are the type of lies I told, so I won't hurt people's feelings. In many cases, I didn't want no strife. Now I don't hold my tongue for nothing and nobody. I tell the 100% truth. Whether you like it or not, whether it hurts your feelings or not, I don't care. As many people say, "F your feelings," you know. But yeah, I held my tongue a whole lot in my lifetime, just so I wouldn't hurt people's feelings. But I'm gonna be honest with you, it's almost like a freedom, getting out of that. Trying to protect people's feelings, trying not to hurt people. You know, damn that. Boy, when I came up out of that, when I grew up, and when I say I grew up, this is what went for the last 15 years. When I got out of that, not hurting people's feelings, oh my God, I just felt so good. So good. Because now I protect my sanity. I protect me. I don't give a damn about your feelings. I don't. And that's just the way it is. Anyway, I'm gonna get on up out of here, man, and get my day started. Y'all, I'm loving this. I have put myself on a schedule now when it comes to these shows and podcasts. Now, when I start having guests, in which we hopefully gonna get old guy on, he'll be the first one. I wanted my nephew to be the first, but he's doing his grad studies at GSU. He's into a lot of stuff, and I don't want to be a bother. But getting into having guests and doing shows with other people, it's gonna be hard because right now I have myself on a set schedule. I used to do a couple of podcasts on Tuesday, a couple on Sunday, download them, put them out. But now I'm pretty much doing one every day and having a set day to edit them, edit the shows, and get them downloaded and put them on the platforms. Um, and so if the schedule get interrupted, so be it. We can still roll on. But as of right now, I'm loving this. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Being able to talk, communicate, and a handful of people appreciate it. I love you guys. Um, just for clicking the button, tuning in. But anyway, let me get up out of here. I appreciate you. I love you. And as always, in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, you guys be blessed. And if God willing, I will, I guess, see you next time.